Hello, you're watching Stretford Paddock. We're here for a Paddock podcast. Sorry, the producer won't put the mics up because he's on an ego trip. So we're going to be looking today at a comparison between... It's going to be a loose thing, isn't it? We're going to look at the three sort of number 10 midfield options that we've been linked with in the January transfer window and see who we kind of fancy. Obviously, Ryan and Alex are here today.
Hey, how are we doing? You had a good day?
It's been a bit stressful, but yeah, it's been all right. Went to Liverpool earlier, recorded a little video with the Red Men TV. Got out alive, yeah. We didn't stay long. We just got in and got out. Just recorded a video for the game on Sunday, which should be going out on Thursday.
Did you come back with your wallet?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I ain't checked if there's anything in it. No, which is good because there wasn't when I left. So. Perfect. So we're going to be looking at essentially United's talk. I mean, we'll move on a little bit. Actually, we'll talk as well later on a bit about this Koulibaly story that's just broken in the last 10 minutes, but we're not quite sure what's going on here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
So where should we start? Who should we start with?
Let's start
Probably
with the man.
Most relevant name,
Bruno Fernandes.
That's you.
I think we should sign Bruno Fernandes. Right. So the thing is, I think we can all agree that we'd be quite happy to get like more than one of these three, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
maybe two. I think three is maybe pushing it, but I'd take it.
I don't think you can have all three.
No,
I don't think you have all three, but I think you can definitely have two of them. I think Bruno Fernandes is potentially going to be played in the two in midfield.
Yeah.
I see. The thing is, I can't see what's on screen because Cameron's moved.
No, nothing.
Everything.
He's just nodding his head.
So
getting involved.
If something happens that we don't know, if there's any transitions, because he fucked about with that yesterday.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes could be signed for being the 8. But I think that whilst he plays there a lot more for Sporting, I think when he gets into the Premier League, I think he might need to move forward just to adapt a bit. I think it's a
so we don't have to deal with the tackling and defensive side of things.
I think he might be giving him more free roll to start.
Do you reckon we could move back to the 4-3-3 then?
I'd like to see it. I think it works.
I think it'd suit the players that we've got more.
Do we think? And I agree with you, but sort of everyone who you speak to seems to think 4-3-3 would be better. But then, why don't we play it? Like, I know that obviously Ola wants to play his way and stuff, but if it was so obvious and our players so much suited this 4-3-3, surely someone who's, even if he's not the best coach in the world, he's got a UEFA Pro license, like he knows what coaching is. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to like boil it down too much to just he's right, we're wrong, but it does seem weird that everyone seems to think that this 4-2-3-1 slows us down going forward and it doesn't allow us to control the ball very well and that kind of thing. And yet the group of people who know most about coaching have done it every single week this season, pretty much.
I think the players he had at the start of the season because I think he was always preparing for if Pogba went in the summer, which was still a possibility. He's always preparing if Pogba went now, and I think he's still preparing for Pogba leaving later. I think that him looking at that squad, Fred and McTominay were always going to be the two, and I think he had more players that fit in the natural 10 role rather than having 2 8s. I think that's how he kind of saw the squad, maybe.
And I think as well, because it seemed like at the start of the season he'd kind of ruled Matic out, didn't he? Like he clearly didn't want to play with Matic, but Matic has been forced back into the squad with injuries to Pogba and McTominay.
Yeah.
I think as well, in his head, because Matic was sort of essentially as good as gone, I think maybe in a 4-3-3, you generally have one slightly more deeper numbers, even though it's sometimes like it's almost like a 4-1-2-3, if you know what I mean. And I don't think he trusted Matic to play there by himself.
No.
And I don't think he trusted any of Fred, McTominay or Pereira to play there by themselves either. So I think there's maybe a chance that we're kind of covering for the fact that we don't have a natural number 6 that can hold that central role by themselves, that we're kind of playing 2 players there for the price of 1. Or
do you reckon there's maybe a discussion to be had that he still doesn't trust the back 4? Obviously,
maybe
Maguire came in and it has shored things up a bit, but we still do concede a lot of goals.
I think
it's more midfield.
I think it's the midfield. I think it's the one of the reasons we concede so many goals is that the midfield isn't defensively aware enough.
I don't think midfield, because I think we've been fine when we've had Fred and McTominay once they've got a lot of games, but I don't think when they first came in it wasn't the best.
No.
From there, but I don't know. We've conceded more of our goals from corners rather. There are goals that you kind of say, we should do better there. But when we've had a settled team, we've not actually been that bad at the back. No. It's been the only downside when we've had a settled team is from corners where we've been dodgy as anything.
Yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Inexplicable, isn't it? Right, so let's get on to Bruno Fernandes then. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that whilst we could get 2 maybe by the end of the summer, the likelihood of us getting 2 of these players in January is slim.
Especially the position that both of the clubs are in as well.
Yeah.
So if we sort of start with Bruno Fernandes, let's have a look at some stats. 14 goals, 10 assists in. Let's take Portugal out of this because he's only got 1 goal for them. So he's got 13 goals and 10 assists in 21 games.
It's not bad, that.
What? 24 goal involvements in 21 games.
It's not bad, that.
That is mad, isn't it? To be honest. No. It's just obviously he's not going to be able to do those numbers in England. I think we can all agree on that. Yeah. But it's still, I mean, it's Portugal. It's not like he doesn't play in the Egyptian league or something. It's a proper league, like. And
it's not like he hasn't looked good when he's played for Portugal as well. He's looked sharp. He's scored some goals.
He's looked good in Europe against big teams, and he looked good. I know it's only a pre-season game, but he looked good against Liverpool in pre-season and stuff.
I mean, even if he was only to get half the numbers that he's got now in the Premier League, it's still far better than anything we've got.
Still massive, isn't it? Yeah. And I think if you compare him to Maddison and Grealish, who we're going to go on to in a minute, I think he's got a bit more of a. Maddison's great from long range shots and stuff, but he seems like a sort of a specialist, doesn't he?
I think Fernandes kind of scores all kinds of goals as well. Yeah. I think he scores the goals from outside the box, but I think he's got that run that Lampard used to have. Yeah, where he could play the ball and then would get in there and score that tap in when he needed to, which I think it's what we're missing. We've not got that midfielder,
especially when Pogba isn't playing. We've seen he can do it.
Yeah, you saw Pogba in the Chelsea game in the FA Cup last year was the perfect example of the time Pogba driving through midfield and scoring a header. That's what we've kind of missed from midfield. We've not got anyone that's doing that. No. So. Yeah.
So I think he definitely offers a bit more of that, but he also seems to be the most suited to play a bit deeper as well. Yeah. I think he does play a little bit deeper on occasion for Sporting and for Portugal. He can play in that number 8 role where he's kind of coming back and defending a bit more. You don't see too much of that from Maddison and Grealish necessarily, although I think they're both quite industrious players.
Yeah.
I don't think they quite have that kind of just sort of cover all positions style to their play. No. And again, it's hard to know with the numbers, isn't it? Because you can't not look at him. You can't pretend that he hasn't got incredible
30 goals last year. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter where you do that. Yeah. I mean, that's why
for a midfielder as well.
That's why Haaland's been moved on in January.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's in a worse league than Fernandes,
and he's scoring 30 goals. You can't knock that. That's unbelievable numbers.
But yeah, you do have to kind of worry how he might. Transition into the Premier League. There hasn't really been any particular Fernandes updates today, has there? The last thing we saw was that more talks are expected, and that there've been some sort of contention over.
It's more just the players, fee, I think, at the minute.
And fees, yeah.
Although I think Sky went with it today, just saying they're still miles apart in the valuation. Which doesn't.
What's that going to end up being? What do we think he's worth? Do we think he's worth 30 million? This player who's in the prime of his career.
See, from what I see, I thought there was something that said they've agreed the fee, but what they don't agree on, I think Sporting want players, or want, if they don't get players, a lot of cash for him.
Well, our players don't want to join you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that's probably. I mean, there was a thing from Sky put out today. United prepared to let Marcus Rojo leave this month, but Sporting Lisbon want to discuss other Manchester United players if he stays. So they've said Marcus Rojo, but I think there's not. I don't think Sporting will say, well, if he doesn't come, just give us cash. I think if he doesn't come, we want Andres Pereira. We want someone like.
Does a player swap circumvent financial fair play? So if they, because if let's say we give them 15 million more,
it doesn't. I mean,
is that worse for them than giving them Marcus Rojo?
The financial fair play will only work on our side, I think.
No, but I mean, when they come to show their books at the end of the season, the money you make from selling players goes into that, doesn't it? Because it has to be a percent. I think
it probably is. They're probably saying, look, we want 50 million and Rojo, or
because we ain't going to buy
what Rojo's worth in cash.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I think that's what
we're not going to be able to buy Rojo for the price that he would get added onto a deal for.
I think that's
Fernandes for.
I think maximum, if Rojo goes the other way, or if he doesn't, I think maximum it's around 65 million, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what else is it going to cost?
Yeah. Even like
I don't understand. Do we want to pay like 55? Like, I know 10 million is a lot of money, but we need players like if he's the guy. We've been saying this whole thing for 2 years now. If there's no value in the market, if it's not the right player, we're not going to get it. Right, fair enough. A bit frustrating, but I get it. If we've decided that Fernandes is the person we're going to get, then it's 65 million. I'm afraid
you can't go through all that negotiations and then go.
If he's not right, don't buy him. But if he is, just spend the money.
Yeah.
The people
I know we haven't got endless
the people
money.
watching, I think, are just arguing between themselves. I don't even think they listen to us.
They don't need to.
No, you like to keep arguing. Great fun.
Comments.
But whilst you're arguing, just like the video.
Yeah, like the video. That'd be lovely.
That'd be great.
Yeah, should we move on? Should we move on to someone else?
Yeah, why not?
I'm getting annoyed at this.
So I'm going to say Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
I'd like Jack Grealish in this team.
Let me calm down.
Yeah,
Sorry, it always annoys me, the price thing. Every single time we argue for ages.
No,
it's not Cam, actually. I like
This
Cam.
has got under your skin.
No, it's not.
It's just really wound
Cam
you
doesn't
up.
know me. I like having a laugh with Cam. But
You could murder him at any point today. That's what you're saying.
maybe. But I don't understand why this argument with fees always comes about. Because when's the last time you went, fucking hell, we got him cheap? Never happened. It's not happened in my life. Like, I don't mean, obviously, players go on to look good value, Ronaldo, etc., etc. 30 million for a player that had, 2 years left on his contract? Or 1 year?
Even like 5 million, but
even when they got Van
the
Persie,
best striker in the league.
He was the best striker in the league, but he didn't have long left on his contract, if I remember rightly.
No, he only had like 6 months.
Yeah, so like, we've never got like, fucking hell, we got him for 8 million. But it's going to be 60 million.
That's never going to happen.
No,
that's
Maguire, 80 million. Of course it was 80 million. It was going to always be that. From the first week, it was going to be that, and it was that.
Yeah.
We never go, you know what, look what we've done it again, look. Wan-Bissaka, 4.5 million. No, it was 50 million, which we all knew from the start. This player is going to be somewhere between 55 and 70 million.
And I think unless you've never heard of them, unless it is Dan James.
But then he is worth 20 million, 15 million because you've never heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand it. You don't ever get stunned by how cheap a player is. It's good. Piss off with that, Cam, honestly. For God's sake. Absolute chimpanzee behind the camera.
So,
right.
Anyway.
I said microphone, so that's me, so I'm an idiot. Right.
Grealish, I like him. I think looking at his stats, it's nowhere near Bruno Fernandes' numbers.
No.
It's in 20 appearances in the league this year, 6 goals, 5 assists. 6 yellow cards, which I like. I mean, he's kicking people up and down the place. But
some of them not for simulation, though.
Yeah, there's all sorts going on there. But I think the one thing with like both Bruno Fernandes and Jack Grealish is it's always good when you sign someone's captain. You know, for someone to be someone like Harry Maguire.
Yeah, that's why Inter are going after Ashley Young, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
He's our best player.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But,
no, I know what you mean, though. Yeah, it's like this is the person that they value the most.
Leaders. We need people that if you gave a captain's armband to. Then
Cam just likes ruining videos.
He does. He ruined this morning. You're ruining it, mate.
Yeah,
you're ruining it.
So he's Villa's captain.
Yeah, and that's same with Bruno Fernandes, Sporting Lisbon's captain, and whether that's on merit or just
just to get an extra 5 million for it, probably.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's it's good to have, and I think Grealish and Fernandes could work in the same team. I think because of
definitely
Grealish's work rate. Grealish is how he plays. And he can fit into a 3. He can fit into as a 10.
Yeah.
He can probably play out wide as well. He can play in the right wing, left wing.
I think
like
either Maddison or Grealish could play with Fernandes. I don't think Maddison and Grealish would necessarily fit in the same team as well.
Not when we've got a player like Scott. It's going to be Scott McTominay is the other one probably, or Fred.
And maybe another person. Because I suppose that they would be the two. But it seems like all things suggest that United are after multiple midfielders, not just one.
Yeah.
Back to Grealish then. I think those are the sort of numbers like we were saying. If you half Fernandes' numbers, that might be what he does when he comes through. It's similar to that.
Aston Villa.
He's at Aston Villa who they're up there to get relegated.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a
Villa fan.
We have a Villa fan in the office, by the way. There's a chance they're in the relegation battle. They're not scoring hundreds of goals, so to get 6 and have 5 assists is pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's obviously a good player, isn't he? Like, I'll be honest, I've only seen probably 5 or 6 games of him this season, so not tons. I've obviously, but I think it's one of those players that you saw some of the things he did in the Championship last season. I know it's the Championship, but that's where we got Dan James from, and he's been excellent.
And that's where James Maddison came from.
Yeah, exactly.
And cost 25 million. So
yeah, but the only thing with that is he's won, I think, like 5 Premier League games in his whole career.
I think that's more down to the team.
I know that, but I mean, like, what is he? Can he be a player that wins you games multiple times a season? If we're going to spend 65-70 million pounds on a central midfielder that we're supposedly waiting for the right person, as we keep saying, because that's what the club keeps saying, like, is he going to be the person that wins us multiple games a season?
I don't think he comes into our team and is the man like he is at Villa. I think he'll just be the cog in a machine rather than being a crucial part of it.
See, that worries me.
I know what you mean.
We need someone who's the man. Like, not like Pogba's like the man, but he tries to do too much and it's all about him off the pitch. I mean, on the pitch, we need someone where they're like not De Bruyne is never going to be De Bruyne, but you look how Eriksen used to be at Tottenham. You look how De Bruyne is there. You look at the players Liverpool have, even like Trent, they've got Salah, they've got Mane. We need to stop buying players who are like fucking world class, because otherwise we're just going to refill the squad with people who are just a notch below that and stay fourth for another 5 years.
I don't know. I think you get enough of them players. That's what builds your team.
I feel like that's what we had under Van Gaal. Enough of those players that were these should be really good, but they're not quite good, but we'll fill the squad with them. I know I said this the other day, but Schneiderlin, Depay, Blind, and as much as he was good for Ajax, he was good for United. He was never amazing for United.
No. I feel like if you'd have put Blind, so we go back to when Ole was really successful when he took over.
Yeah,
I feel like if you'd have put Blind in Matic's place and kept that going throughout the following season, I think we'd be miles better.
Yeah, I agree. And I do really like Daley Blind, but what I'm saying is he didn't stand out, especially the way Van Gaal wanted to play, and then the way Mourinho wanted to play. He didn't have a chance, bless him. But like,
you don't know with all this, because
of course I don't.
With Van Gaal's system, no, it wasn't quite working in the first. I think his first transfer window was when we spent fortunes on. We spent loads. We got loads of players.
Yeah,
and he was just, because that was just a case of, we need a new team here. That team was old and going. We need a new team. He never signed a centre half, which is probably what he needed in all of that. And then we didn't see the end of that. We saw the 2 seasons of it, and it was a 3-year project. It was relatively consistent. You don't know if he comes in and he signs. Well, Pogba was going to add to that team. That was who he'd already signed Pogba. That was why he came in that summer from Mourinho. Yeah, like if Pogba gets added to that team and Van Gaal's system, you don't know.
I think Van Gaal was the.
That's what Solskjaer wants. He wants to build that team of players he knows are going to do jobs. I mean, for as much as I hate going to these comments and saying look at Liverpool, but look at how Liverpool have done it. Would you say Henderson was the world-class player? No. Would you say Wijnaldum was a world-class player?
But they bought 2 players who were bought for huge money, that were bought to be world-class, and they have been in Van Dijk and Alisson. They got very lucky with Salah, because no one expected that.
That was almost at the end of the project.
Yeah, it was, but it was almost at the end of the project, but they still finished 3rd or 4th the season before. They finished behind United when they signed him.
I know,
So it's like they were topping up, but they were still miles off where they are now, even before they'd signed them.
Yeah.
And Mane's obviously been incredible.
The midfield started to work. Mane was signed from Southampton, was a very good player, and then we were after him. And then, but then I said, Henderson got signed. Milner came in on a free, and then they got Wijnaldum. Now that midfield 3, that was not far off what was starting and winning them games.
Not Fabinho. I think Henderson's been there for a while, hasn't he?
Then Fabinho came in. So that's what I mean, though. It was not a case of you have to sign.
That was my point about Grealish. It's like, you look at Liverpool's midfield, I wouldn't say there's a star player in that midfield. Yeah. But it's just a very.
But they've got star players elsewhere, though.
But I think we can have that. I mean, if you look at Rashford, the season he's had,
definitely
he's only going to go strength to strength. Martial, obviously Greenwood, James is only going to get better. Obviously, we are looking at other targets on that right hand side.
That's it. If you added a world class right winger to a Grealish team,
but that's what I mean. That's the thing that I think, get Sancho. And I'm not saying you can't only ever sign 100 million players. I'm not saying that either. But it just always worries me, the idea of bringing players in that you think, this improves the squad, but we don't know that they're brilliant. Yeah. And like even players like, I mean, they got... You could say it was excellent recruitment on Robertson, but again, he's sort of exceeded expectation. They've had this incredible talent with Trent coming through. But they didn't spend big money on anyone except Fabinho, who's turned out to be excellent, Van Dijk, who was brilliant from the first second they bought him, and Alisson, who was brilliant the first second they bought him. Mane was 30 million. Firmino was like 25, 30 million. Salah was about 30 million, the same thing.
Yeah, it was the thing is, what's made, they've added, they added 3 world-class players to a team that was,
to top it up,
that was doing okay. Yeah. It seems like what we want to do is add the world-class players first and then start signing mediocre players. It comes down to
us being naive in the window again, because you should be able to do both. With us, it feels like we top up on the good players that are going to bring something to the team, but then we have to wait another window to go and sign the star. So we
either do one or the other. We either sign Pogba or we sign Dan James, which I like Dan James.
But he's not going to win you a title. He's not going to.
Not by himself. He could be in a title-winning team, maybe, but he wasn't. I'm not trying to slag him off. He wasn't. I don't think bought with a mind to play 50 games a season, which is good.
He's said that. He said, I've never expected to play as much as I've played.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, and I know there just isn't a limitless amount of world-class players who are available, who want to play for Man United. I get that, but I just always feel a bit thingy of like, how long has Jack Grealish been, an established Premier League excellent player for? 6 months. And we're going to be paying 60 million quid for him. He's not even that young. No. He's not 20. Was he 24? 23, 24? I think he's an excellent player. Yeah. But like,
he's 24.
We spend 24. Right. So he's about as good as he's going to be.
No, he could get, 24's, he's still got
he's still young.
Years of,
but
before he even gets,
I don't know.
Imagine if you signed Juan Mata at 24.
It was brilliant.
You'd have had him, that was around when Chelsea signed.
Yeah, but he didn't get much better after he was 24. I don't know. I know what you mean. I know. I'm just being a bit negative, and I've
had a bad day.
I've had a stressful day. I've been in Liverpool talking to Liverpool fans.
Were they dead? Well, fine.
No, they're really nice. He's really nice.
But they're winning at the minute.
It's just not fun, is it? It's not fun. Yeah. Let's talk about James Maddison.
So, obviously, we mentioned there how long Grealish has been established for.
Yeah.
As a Premier League. You look at Maddison, who's done it last season, and of course this season as well. In the league, 22 matches, 6 goals, 3 assists. It's not staggering numbers, but again, it's decent and still, like we said, half Fernandes' numbers.
Yeah.
And it's still looking good, and that's what you've got with Maddison there. And I think, not to slag off Leicester, they've had a great season, they've got great players, but I think if you added more to that team, it's good. Like I like Iosi Perez, and obviously they've had their Harvey Barnes on the other side for Leicester as well. Yeah. Their main goal threat is Jamie Vardy, and if he doesn't score, they normally.
Yeah, he's got most of their goals, hasn't he?
So, but then if you put him in a team with the likes of Rashford this season, he's having Martial, James, who are always making runs off the ball. We just don't have that player to find him.
Yeah. No.
I think if you slot Maddison in there,
he can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I just read a comment here that's against me, but I agree with it?
Where is it?
He says, we signed Di Maria, Sanchez, Lukaku and Pogba and that didn't work out. Yeah, you're right. Which is why signing big players isn't always the best thing. So I agree. I'm being a bit reactionary, and you are right that just because you spend loads of money don't mean they're going to be perfect. But I think, to be fair, Pogba has been brilliant for United. And he's been injured and stuff, and the off the field stuff is sort of.
By the way, hi that United family. You all right?
Oh, how you doing, mate? Yeah. But yeah, you are right. So yeah, I'm being a bit. Go on, sorry. Being a bit shitty. Yeah, you're right. I think Maddison. I like Maddison. I like how industrious he is. I like his work rate. I like that you can smack him in from 25 yards.
Free kicks and mint as well.
Yeah,
just something
Someone can cross the ball.
Yeah,
that's helpful.
I know it'd be good.
We scored from a corner this weekend, so we're fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
It wasn't direct.
That's a corner.
It doesn't matter. It was a corner.
That's such a corner in our book.
It's a corner.
A pass short and then the ball whipped in. All the players were still there from the corner. That
looked like a corner.
We take that.
When you waited that long, we'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it for sure. Here we go.
Hello.
How long United to win the league again? I think how long United to win the league again? Great question and well phrased. I think, at best 4 years. I
don't know. I think it depends on. I think it could. Don't think next season is going to be. We've asked them to like the video, but we'll ask them again. Thanks, Cameron. Well, look, if you can like the video, because our producer would like to interrupt us to say that. Anyway, so I think next year's too early, but I think you've got to see you've got to see what the other teams do.
If you look,
I think Guardiola. I think he's gone. I think this could be the end of him there, and you don't know. Now the thing is, City could easily go out and say, right, we're going to spend $1 billion and be back to it, which they could do. They just go, right, Mbappe.
The thing is, you look at City's team. It is an aging team in there as well.
Yeah.
Well, they're coming to the end of, not necessarily to the end, but they've just won 2 leagues in a row, haven't they? And they've won sort of probably 4 of the last 7 or something. I'm just making that up, but something around that.
Won the most titles in this decade.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Their recruiting's been brilliant, but they could easily those players could get picked out. There's a good. Salah's not been as good as he has been over the last 2 years, so there's a good chance that he might think, if I'm going to cash in, I'm going to move on now.
Yeah.
Mane probably could do the same. Van Dijk could do this. You never know what happens in.
I think the thing with Liverpool is, and again, it comes back to how hard it is to retain titles and retain trophies. Obviously, we've done it 3 times, and bar Chelsea, I don't think anyone else has won the league twice in a row. Obviously, Liverpool haven't won the league yet, but
City did it, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
forget about them.
No one's ever won it 3 times in a row except United.
Yeah. But then you look at the way I look at it with Liverpool. Is you look at it Klopp's perspective. Say they win the league, what else has he got to prove there?
No, I think they're going to try and do. They're going to try and do it consistently, but you don't know. Again, you don't know what other teams.
It's the same thing. It happens every year. I mean, when Pep took over at City and he won the league by 100 points, everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be 10 years of domination." It doesn't happen.
No, and also look at Liverpool's team and look at City's team. They're both sort of quite similar in terms of first 11 strength, as we saw last season. We've seen City average 99 points over the last 2 seasons. It took one injury to Laporte to basically fuck City's whole season up. So Liverpool have been very lucky with a very minimal amount of injuries to Firmino, Salah, Mane, Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent, Robertson. Like, all of their best players have stayed injury-free pretty much for 2 years. Yeah. So the idea that Liverpool can't slip up next season with, let's say, not even a bad injury. Let's say Van Dijk's out for 5 weeks over a bad period of games. They might drop 12 points in that time, and then you can never quite get that confidence back, can you? Yeah. So I'm not saying that we can't possibly win the league in less than 4 years, but when you look at how many teams have... Chelsea have been the only one that have managed to kind of win a league, lose a few players and a manager, recycle, get new players in, get a new team set up with some of the old players, and win it again in less than 5 years. No one else can do it.
Yeah, I think with Chelsea's, they didn't lose their core of that team for a long time. Yeah. I think that's the same way with City. City, for as much as they've changed managers, the team that's won the league is Kompany, David Silva and Aguero.
Look at gone there.
And Fernandinho. Over the last 6 years, they're the 3 players that have done the job. Yeah. Like, you've added Sterling, yes, you've added Son, you've added De Bruyne, you've added some very, very good players around that. But it's that core of the team. Yeah. Now Kompany's gone, kind of seen a slip. David Silva
like Chelsea haven't won the league. Chelsea haven't won the league since John Terry retired, have they?
2017, the last one, I think. Wasn't it?
And John Terry was there.
John Terry was there.
Yeah. So it was that
core
team.
Of that team, Diego Costa,
Lampard, Costa and Drogba.
Kante won it.
Kante, Terry.
That team kind of won it.
Yeah, and it's hard to do that. So I think if Liverpool lose a couple of players, have a couple of injuries, Pep leaves, then there's obviously a chance it could happen in a couple of years.
When United won the titles in 3 in a row, they had Van der Sar as the keeper, stayed the entire time. They had Vidic and Rio were there the entire time. They had
Carrick,
Scholes and Giggs, and then they had Ronaldo and Rooney. Like, that spine stayed for those 3 years, and we didn't lose any of them players. Then we lost Ronaldo. You started to lose a few of them. Giggs and Scholes were starting to not play every game.
Scholes retired,
and
came back.
You had to start slowly rebuild a bit. That's how it happens. My worry with Maddison, so we'll go back to James Maddison, is that I think he's been quality for Leicester, has looked great. But my only worry with him is that why hasn't he got into that England team straight away? Because he's been in the squad.
And it's not like England are stacked in midfield, is it?
No, and they've just not. Because I was like, why isn't he the number 10? Is there something not quite right there, where he's not quite at that level yet?
Maybe. I think it comes down to probably certain players suit different systems more. I mean, you look at Lingard in the World Cup.
He suited that system bang on.
Massively. Yeah. And maybe Maddison doesn't quite fit directly into that.
Lukaku is a perfect example, isn't he? In the right system, he's one of the best strikers in the world. Yeah. And if he's not in the right system, he looks slow, bad touch, can't turn, anything. But maybe it's that. Maybe it's just a case of he's not really had many chances for England yet. So Southgate's sort of reluctant to play him every game because he doesn't know what he can do, maybe, and you don't want to risk him in qualify. I suppose, again, though, you can kind of risk players in qualifiers. It's risk the likes of Harry Winks and, Ross Barkley still gets regular games for England.
Exactly, and that's the perfect example. That's why I'm like, Ross Barkley's been playing, and even Mason Mount. Why were they getting more minutes than James Maddison?
Yeah, like if Ross Barkley played for Norwich or
Everton,
Villa or Everton, United would be linked with him now for 80 million. And no one is going to say that Ross Barkley is worth 80 million.
Was Maddison not named in the last squad? But then there was some sort of mix-up that he was ill, but then he was spotted in a casino.
Yeah, there was something...
You can be in a casino when you're ill. Most people in casinos are ill, to be honest. If you've ever been in one, I don't think there's anything wrong with being ill and being in a casino. It does worry me that we're just sort of looking at any young English midfielder. Like Mason Mount maybe is different because he's a bit younger, but if Ross Barkley was still at Everton, we would be linked with an £80 million move from now, and then you'd get him, and it'd just be Ross Barkley, who is a good player, but that's it.
Yeah.
Which is my worry with Maddison and Grealish. But I think Grealish definitely seemed to have more of an X factor to him. Like a bit of a star kind of quality that Maddison doesn't have. But not that makes him better, but he's more cocky, he's got the hairstyle, a bit of Peaky Blinders, he's a bit of an arsehole, but in a good way.
Yeah,
and he's
calves as well.
Great calves, good looking lad. Like he's a bit of a lad about town, isn't he?
You need arseholes. Herrera. I
love an arsehole.
That's why we missed fucking Herrera, because he was not better around.
Yeah, but then again, Herrera is a great player to have in your team and in your squad, but he's not worth 80 million, is he?
No, exactly.
Well, Gary Neville summed it up with about Herrera, didn't he? We massively miss him. Again, it falls back on us being naive in the market. There's hundreds of Herreras.
Yeah.
They're not a hard player to come.
The thing is, again,
massive.
Do you trust us to get a new one in? Like, the same with, Young's got so much stick down the years, and other than recently him playing over Brandon Williams a few times at left back, despite him not being particularly great, he has been the best option in most of the games he's played.
Yeah.
That's not his fault.
No.
That's the club's fault. So, yes, we need a new Herrera, but we're probably going to spend 70 million on the new Herrera.
You mentioned Young there, and the whole fullback thing again. Like, I don't think from 2010, but let's say when Raphael left, he was our first choice right back, wasn't he? From there, I don't think we've ever signed a fullback that's come in.
No.
Bar Wan-Bissaka this summer.
No.
And he's come in and slotted in straight away.
Well, no, we haven't signed anyone to come in and play as a fullback. No. Valencia was a winger, Young was a winger, and that's it.
Darmian,
but he was never the first choice. For about 6 games, he was first choice.
And
then he just got injured and no one liked him.
19-year-old, and he was never going to start as a...
I still think Delo was signed because I think Mourinho wanted to go 3 at the back and maybe play with wing backs. I think that's why Delo was signed.
Did we not play that in pre-season?
Did it in pre-season.
Played it under Solskjaer.
He was waiting. He wanted Perisic. He wanted 3 at the back, and then he didn't get a centre half. And then
we've played 5 at the back under Solskjaer a couple of times. We played 5 at the back against City last season, didn't we? And looked good doing it as well. But it seems to be an option. But
get some questions in.
Ask us some questions.
Let's do a bit of Q&A.
Should we talk a bit about Koulibaly?
Yeah,
because it's only a 1-sentence report, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not happening, is it?
Well, right. Read what it says, because it's a very strange one.
It was on
28 now, Koulibaly, but he's been 28 for like 3 years, which is weird. Do you know, like one of those players you look and you go, bloody hell, he's older than you thought, but he stayed older than I thought, but the same older than I thought for ages now. It must be his birthday soon.
So. Right. We've got from Fabio Santini,
who is that? I don't know. I wasn't correcting you. I just
did the social post.
No, it was Dom.
Okay. Napoli will sell Kalidou Koulibaly to Manchester United for a figure of 70 million to 75 million euro. It seems all done. Naturally, such a deal would be closed only in June.
Naturally, it just seems like
they've taken a massive hit on what they supposedly wanted on him. I think he had a release clause of 120 million.
Well, they're fucked up because they should have sold him when they were good. Yeah. Now they're shit. Yeah. Now all your players are worth half of what they were a year ago.
Did they drop down to the Europa League, Napoli, or did they go through?
I don't know. I know that like a lot of the better players like Insigne and Mertens and stuff getting on a bit. Yeah. Since Sarri left, they've been on a downward slope, haven't they?
It just seems like such an offhand comment. Like, yeah, you're going to sign Koulibaly. It seems all done.
Why are you the only one that knows about this?
I don't.
It's
only really 2
the
people.
Quote, the source. I know they've got a name on there, but it's everyone's just saying claims from Italy, like some old like romance novel.
I think
claims from Italy, a story of the Amalfi Coast. Or something.
That kind of signing is.
Give me Di Marzio.
You know the one that we were saying. Let's build a team and then get the odd player that's going to make us win the league. That feels like what Koulibaly is.
Yeah, get him
massively,
but not like we've got so many holes in the squad. Centre half, we're not doing that bad. Like you think of the 4 or 5 centre halves that are around there, minus the one that played the other week that we don't really want to see again, Phil Jones. But Lindelof, Maguire, Axel, Bailly, and Rojo.
Smalling.
He's not here.
No, he's gone.
That's not a bad group of centre halves. We don't need to replace that. We've got no midfielders. Let's not spend 75 million on a centre half yet. Yeah. That's where I kind of think it's crazy.
The amount of it. Do you know the when it really shows for me how defensively poor our midfield is? And I really like Fred. He's improved so much. And Matic is a decent defensive midfielder, but his legs have gone. for all intents and purposes, even though he has been better in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Do you know, right, so we lose the ball and we get counter-attacked. And do you know when players come down the wing, so you've got Wan-Bissaka, so let's say they've come down our right-hand side.
Should we get the board?
We need the fucking board. So let's say Sterling's come down the right-hand side against United, against Wan-Bissaka. And Wan-Bissaka does his job properly. And do you know when they just pull the ball back to the penalty spot? And there is never anyone there from our midfield. They're either on the edge of the box or they've come back too far and they're in line with the defence. You know when you're just like sprinting back, like your head's gone, just get as far back as you can, I might block it on the line. The amount of times in the last 2 or 3 years where teams have got to the byline and just pulled the ball back and there is no fucker there from our midfield is ridiculous. It happens all the time. The defensive positioning on the transitions when we lose the ball from our midfield has been very poor for years. And obviously that's just anecdotal and stuff, but next time we're in a game where we lose the ball and players play the ball out wide and cut the ball back, our defenders never know, our midfield never knows where to be defensively.
Nico just put at some point we need another centre half, but probably in 18 months. That's what I do you not think in 18 months Tuanzebe could be ready? Hopefully, but this is the thing, let them have that time. We've got good players there, let them develop a bit, and if it doesn't happen then you go, right, and then like I said, who's the best centre half in the market? Let's get him. I think that's what other teams have done, where they just kind of let them develop. Let's see how they do. Like I think City did it first season. Otamendi and Stones. Let's see how well they do. They kind of fit the profile we want. They kind of do the job. Let them do it. And then he went, no, he's not doing that. Laporte, 65 million, come in and sort this lot out. That's kind of how City did it, you know. And that's how we need to do it. Let them two do it. See how they go. And if we can get a relationship with them and they build okay. If not, then you go, right, Koulibaly, someone else.
Do we think, though, that... Obviously, we looked last season, we just mentioned then, last season, Koulibaly, the price we were talking was 115 million or something just staggering. And now already it's down to 75 million, right? So United keep talking about value in the market, the right player wasn't available. Do you not think that we've just got like, here are the ideal 15 players that United want? So there's 2 centre-backs in there, there's 5 midfielders, there's 2 right-wingers and there's 3 strikers. That doesn't add up, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you just think whenever any of them becomes available, so maybe Koulibaly's available now, centre-back isn't our first choice, but we know how hard it is to find the man we need the exact time we need him. He's available, we have to get him. Rather than like, well, we need a central midfielder. Yeah, but the right one's not available. Well, it was last year. Why didn't you get him then? Well, we didn't need one then. Like, we don't necessarily need a centre-back as our first thing, but if he's available, should we not just get him?
I think the Sanchez transfer was a prime example of why that doesn't work. Because I think Sanchez at Arsenal was probably up there with the best player in the league.
Yep.
And I think that Mourinho said at the time, when a player like that becomes available, you have to go and get him. But then you look at who was playing that season out on that left. You had Rashford starting, Martial coming off the bench and scoring, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Left wing wasn't a position that we necessarily needed to improve. And like Alex has just reeled off the centre half options we've got. It's not necessarily, again, somewhere that we need to...
That's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
And I think as well, with the centre-half partnership, it's not like... It's one of them buying another... saying that Sancho or Haaland or another forward comes in hurts Greenwood. It doesn't, because you can rotate your forwards all the time.
Yeah, that's true. You're not going to...
Greenwood can play more than one position as well.
Of course. But your centre-halves... Those two, apart from the odd cup game, you want them to play every single game. If they're fit, they play together. They're going to play 50 games together.
That's a good point.
You can't do that with a winger. You can do that. You can say, right, Sancho, you can miss out this game against Norwich. We're going to try Greenwood there. Or anyone, even like with the 3 we've got now, Rashford, you're going to have a break today. We're going to put James there and we're going to see how it goes. It's not the worst thing to do that. You can, and then if it's not working after half an hour,
but centre back's more about partnerships than sort of anywhere else on the pitch, isn't it?
You can't do that with
that's true.
Centre halves.
I mean, you look at you mentioned it there. So you look at United's most successful team. So you go Poster, Bruce, established centre half partnership, Stam and Berg, standard, Johnson, and then Vidic and Ferdinand. Title winning teams throughout decades, and they've always had that simple foundation of solid centre half.
But then isn't Maguire and Koulibaly better than Maguire and Lindelof? I mean, I actually don't know, to be honest.
I think it probably is. I think in terms of winning the ball,
good luck in the air.
Good luck in the air. Like no one's getting past them.
No,
but I don't know. I think
you say on the ball, though, I don't really think Lindelof's that amazing with the ball at his feet. For someone who was bought as a ball playing centre half, you look at I
think what has happened this season is Maguire has taken the role of the ball carrying centre back. Whereas I think the passes that Lindelof makes, he made a through ball to, was it Dan James a few weeks ago again? I think it was against Watford, or it was a game we won around that time. But like a ball that went straight through the defence, through the midfield, and straight to his feet, and it's one where he put it wide. Just missed the chance, but I think he's good on. He's a good passer. He's got a good range of passing, especially compared to like Jones and Smalling and Bailly. Yeah. But I think because Maguire's the one, you always see him on the ball, like in the midfield, don't you? Breaking into the box sometimes. I think he's been the one to sort of sit back, but I think he is good like as a passer of the ball.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe he's not. Maybe we just, compared to the other players we've had in the past, he seems like he is, and there's maybe a level above that. You look at some of the long passing that you see from Van Dijk. I mean, that's
and a lot of what that is who are they passing to?
Where the runs and
the reason Lindelof looked shaky on the ball last year was that, number one, they pressed him more than anyone else because they knew that Smalling was never going to get the ball or Jones was never going to get the ball. It's always going to go through Lindelof. And so there's more pressing. And then the other thing is he looks up, he's got Ashley Young that way. He's got pass it back to Smalling, or it's hoof it forward.
Yeah.
That's where you've missed that. Whereas this year, and in the same way, now we're trying to play through midfield a bit more. He's still not got those players right in front of him to play those true. Simple balls too.
Yeah, I'm not someone. I like Lindelof. Yeah. I'm not trying to sell him or get rid of him for Lukaku because I don't like him. I'm just thinking if Lukaku is a target of the club, Koulibaly is a target of the club, then should it be someone that we just buy when he's available regardless? But maybe, like I said, Sanchez is a perfect example of why that doesn't always work.
If Napoli are willing to take that much of a hit on his price, I mean, I'm sorry, 50 between what was it, 50 between 50 and 70 million,
70 and 75%
for probably the second best centre half in the world, below Van Dijk.
Yeah,
probably throw Varane in
up
there as well.
Yeah.
For that price, it is a bargain. I mean, you were saying you don't really get anyone cheap nowadays. I think that's cheap.
Well, it could be if he's the player we think he is, then that's definitely cheap.
But it just my worry is that if this is being worked on right now, if this is what they're doing, because we've said it does seem like we're very progressive, we're very slow with our transfers, and we kind of do this one getting worked on at a time.
It's like Intimacy Spider, just one and the next and the next and the next.
I'd be busting to get another midfielder rather than get another one.
The midfield's the priority.
Please get another midfielder rather than be talking to a centre half that is a bit of a bonus for us. That's essentially what it is. Just get a midfielder in.
Our transfers are like a drunk bloke trying to walk on a straight line. It's just one foot in front of the other.
Yeah,
we really need like
a
transfer menorah, like 7 candles burning at once.
Oh dear. We've got Wolves tomorrow.
Shall have a little think about Wolves.
Yeah.
Why can't we ever beat Wolves?
You said it on your late night live. I don't know.
It sickens me.
I mean, they are a good team.
They are good, and but they're not better than us.
City can't beat them either.
No, that's
City
true.
are quite good at football.
Yeah, they are.
So there is.
You do have them teams that you do struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, in the mid 2000s, we always struggled away at Chelsea, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
and we struggle against teams that play three at the back well. I think that's one of the things
we struggle away at Bournemouth every year as well.
Yeah, any team that plays three at the back well, I've found that we've struggled against. Like Sheffield United, when we tried to match them for system, went.
Then when we changed,
they hammered us in that first half, that Sheffield United game.
Yeah.
That was incredible, wasn't it? They just destroyed our midfield that game.
You did have Phil Jones playing everyone on the side every time the ball went
about Phil Jones. He's a good guy.
I think this game has now become more important after the City game last week. I think the fact that we got essentially it's pretty much knocked us out, or has put us in the mindset that we're going to need a PSG style miracle to get through, which we are.
I'd love one.
I'd love one. It'd be great if we did. But we were all looking for, we need a cup run. We want to try and get to Wembley. And I think everyone was kind of thinking, we'll get past it. You fancy that? We'll get to the final. Even before that, we was thinking this was we're in the quarterfinals. We've got Rochdale. We fancy us getting to Wembley here.
Yeah.
And now we've been absolutely battered by City in that first leg. That's kind of gone. So I think now, because Europa League, you don't know what Europa League is going to be. You could get a horrendous
games.
There's so many teams that are just so hard to beat away, and all it takes is a slip up at home. Even someone like Sporting Lisbon, they seem easy enough, but if you draw 1-1 away, all of a sudden you're only a slip up away.
We
from
did that even when Fergie was in charge, and we dropped into Europa League. We played Bilbao that time. And we're like, Bilbao are like, we're still the best team. We're still one of the best teams in England. We should be able to beat this Spanish lot that only sign players from around the corner.
3-1 away, we lost.
Absolutely battered us.
Apart,
So I don't know. I think there's a good chance. I mean, we need to put a full strength team out against Wolves, I reckon. The only problem is we've got quite a big game at the weekend.
Yeah, we've got that to look forward to. I think the one thing that's almost a good thing in terms of it's not a good thing, but the fact that we've got so few, it makes things easier. We've got so few fit midfielders that Matic is playing, Lingard probably is playing, Pereira is playing. Fred, Fred. Sorry, maybe playing. Not Lingard, but Fred and Matic are playing. And Pereira's probably playing.
Wan-Bissaka.
There's not many choices here, is there?
Wan-Bissaka, Dalot's a question mark.
It's a question mark, but Dalot's not started a game in 50 years.
Williams is starting because I don't think Young or Shaw are going to play.
Do we think that Young's refused to play? That's mad.
It would surprise me.
But did you see what Solskjaer said in his conference today?
Solskjaer's comment today was very much, no, Ashley's not involved. And it wasn't...
Not involved is like...
He's not injured, he's not that, he's going.
He turned up to the party and did a shit in the trifle, that's what he did. That was like, Ashley's not going to be involved today. Like, you know when someone turns up for like dance practice with just one of their kids? Luke's not going to be at dance practice today because let's just say we've had a bit of a morning. That's all we'll say. That's what Solskjaer's like with Ashley Young. Let's just say he's not going to play. Can you like the video, please? We'd love it if you like the video. It really helps us out. Thank you very much for 30,000 subscribers as well.
Oh, it's mint that.
I said it last night, but now this is a sort of...
Onwards and upwards to 40.
Onwards and upwards to 40, we're looking forward to it. But thank you very much for the support. Yeah. And if you like the channel, give us a thumbs up. That'd be very helpful.
What do we say? Angel Gomez to get a run out, I reckon.
Featured a lot more, hasn't he, recently?
Yeah, I think he could.
Do you reckon that's not just a ploy to say if you sign a contract you're going to play more, then he signs a contract and we don't play him again?
I don't know. It just seems a bit. I think he's looking at who's fit. Yeah. He's up there with one of the best options to play. Like I don't think there's much more to it than that. Really, Lingard's well out of form. Pereira's hit and miss. You know, Fred's played every week. Fred's played like 20 games in a row, having not played for almost a year. Yeah. Like he's got. Right. How knackered must Fred be?
I feel like Wednesday's probably a good game to give Gomez a run out as well.
Sorry, we need to. What do you guys hate about Martial? Because Tony's been a revelation down the middle. It's just a case of following SH.
Pure Martial FC.
What's SH?
Stephen Howson. Oh. Well, I like Martial.
I like Martial. We've not even mentioned Martial.
We've not mentioned it, and I think he's a quality number, and I like him playing.
Brilliant. And I really like how he's improved his hold-up play, and he's
coming to press more now.
Yeah, he's coming on as a striker.
I think we have a problem with all our front threes. We've got no one that wants to head the ball.
We've got no one that wants to head the ball. We've got no backup for any of them.
Yeah,
except Greenwood. But
that's the problem.
Even if Greenwood was as good as Martial, I think just with his age he couldn't play every week.
No, so that's
I really like Martial. People always think we don't like Martial. I don't know what that's about.
I love Martial.
Yeah, I do. I think sometimes his demeanour comes across as though he's not arsed, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad
apparently thing. It's racism, apparently.
What is? The fact that we like him?
Apparently so. Apparently it's nationalism and racism. They can't hate on Rashford because he's Manchester born. It's been too obvious.
Right, first of all, why would we... Not that we hate on Martial, but Rashford's our top goal scorer this season and has doubled his offensive output.
Literally gets more stick
for what reason would we want to hate Rashford? Do you hate Rashford? Why do you hate Rashford if we should be bashing him? We don't ever go at Martial. We like Martial.
They always rave and ignore Martial. So, because we don't say he's the greatest player.
Well, we're not going to be raving about Martial because he's not scored 19 goals like Rashford has. I think he's been very good, but we need more strikers. Not because he's not good enough. He's also been
injured for 8 weeks this season. That's why he's not.
I like Martial. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, we've been done that, but
But we're just talking. We're chatting to the comments.
Twaddle.
Also, I don't like being called racist. That's a bit rude, isn't it?
Racist. That's
Yeah, we like Martial, but we're not raving about him as much as Rashford because he's not having as good a season as Rashford. I think.
Is it weird that I celebrate a bit harder when Martial scores?
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you really like him?
Yeah.
He's probably our coolest player. Do you think he's our coolest player?
Yeah, I just like the fact he's just a bit chilled.
Do you? Yeah, I think I can see where some people would think, he's not bothered.
The wrong way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like with Berbatov. Berbatov apparently.
Yeah, Berbatov was the same. Like, do you remember that? I always talk about this, but remember that? I can't remember who it was. There was a point where Berbatov, I think it was a season after he scored loads of goals, and he hadn't been scoring as many.
Is this when he was at Spurs or United?
No, he was at United, and he had a penalty for United, and he just stepped up and side-footed it so softly, and the goalie just went, "What, really?" And just like grabbed it off the floor and was like, That was an absolute... And people were so mad at him. People forget now, because he's cool, people act like everyone loved Berbatov all the time. He used to get so much stick for looking lazy, looking bored. And it's a similar thing to Martial. He's got this sort of languid style. He never smiles, all that kind of thing. I think people that rubbed people the wrong way.
We went from Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, and then Berbatov came and just kind of went...
Yeah, playing on like...
I'm not doing that running stuff that you like to do. I'm just going to just give me the... Just
Berbatov on like an electric remote control scooter, like on a Vespa driving around.
People ironically cheer when Berbatov made a run.
Yeah. Eric Cantona had a demeanour, but not the same demeanour as Berbatov or Martial.
No, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's like,
and your point
like
is
Zlatan. Demeanour doesn't have one definition. It's there are many demeanours that people can have. People have different demeanours. Like I would say, as we've all talked about before, Ibrahimovic was more similar to Cantona in that kind of strutting, ego, cocky, chest out sense. It's not the same as Martial, is it? But we like Martial.
Yeah.
Final thoughts then. Let's have some predictions for the Wolves game, because I don't know what to think anymore.
It feels weird because I think, considering this time, well, just 24 hours, this time last week, just after the City game, pretty low point. You know, we got battered, and I think everyone was. And then the rumours started coming out about transfers. I think that's very well done by United. By just as soon as
I love it when we do that.
The timing of that was just like, okay,
get it out there.
Even like the ones that weren't happening started. Like the Van der Beek one came in
popped up
straight away. Everything got leaked, you know. So they've done well. The PR side of United did very well last week to get that back.
I think they thought the chief exec thing's not going to work, or the director of football thing's not going to work. We're
not going to do that.
Let's go players.
They've waited as well to release this Lego thing as well. Imagine if they'd done that last week.
If they'd have done the Lego the day after we got beat
200
3-1.
quid to make a stadium that we're losing every week. I'm all right, thanks.
And you've been battered. People have just been saying, does it come with a leaky roof as well, and all that kind of stuff. It's not gone down well. But yeah, they've done well. And it seems like we're a bit, the result on Saturday was good. We played really well on Saturday.
Yeah, we battered Norwich.
It always seems it's not even like it's it's not even like it's one step forward, two steps backwards. It's like half a step.
Yeah, it's like we've done what we needed to do.
Yeah.
We done what we needed to do, beat the bottom of the league team.
But I don't think we can take that for granted. I don't think we need to be happy that we beat.
Yeah,
every time we win, I'm happy. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be nice. I fear for Solskjaer, not in the sense that I think the board like him. But I can't be arsed with, if we lose a few of these next games, the heat and the pressure on him is going to be so high.
To say if Wolves knock us out tomorrow night,
and then we lose to
we'll lose heavily to Liverpool.
Yeah, and then obviously we're going to go out to City. So even the fact that that's almost assured, just it coming true will be
like those.
Like we didn't expect. People.
We've got an extra week till we play.
Got Burnley.
We've got Burnley in between that, so
which is tough.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're going through. But then again, like if you look back, the last time we were heading into a period of fixtures like this, it was Chelsea in the cup, and then 2 or 3 weeks later we had Spurs, and then we had City, and we won 3 of those 4, didn't we?
We did.
So I don't think there was quite 4 games. There was another couple of games in between, but sometimes we turn up, and hopefully we can do that. But that midfield's looking thin, isn't it?
It is. I think Matic looked okay. I'm going to go for a win in extra time.
You know what? I think we're going to beat them. I'm going to go 2-0. I think we'll get an early goal. I think we'll hold them off, and I think we'll get another on the counter-attack. Martial to score both.
In 1-1, 90 minutes. I agree with Alex. I think we'll win it in extra time.
Oh, God's sake.
We're trying to get
just
heart
say
attack.
50-0. No, I do think we'll beat them. Obviously, we might not, but I think we'll beat Liverpool. What are people saying?
Someone's just on there, beat by Wolves, but beat Liverpool.
Would you take that?
2-1. No. No.
But then again, the other way around is bad.
Yeah, but I can't expect them to.
As long as we don't get an absolute shuttling off Liverpool.
Beating Liverpool isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
Well,
the only thing is, if we get beat by that.
Yeah, 2-1. People saying 2-1.
Yeah, there is extra time. There is an extra time because it's a replay, so they can't have another replay because that.
Was it straight to penalties?
It's not straight to penalties.
No, I don't think.
It's not, is it?
No,
it's definitely.
It's the League Cup. They go straight to penalties.
Yeah, 1-0. Greenwood hat-trick. Ooh, Greenwood. Lovely. Greenwood. That made me feel nice thinking of Greenwood. Thanks for making me think of Greenwood before we go.
Yeah.
Right, should we call it there, lads?
Yeah.
Thanks very much for that, everyone.
Watch along tomorrow, innit?
Watch along tomorrow, Man United against Watford.
We've got a special guest for the watch.
We've got a special guest. You may have seen him before. We'll save it for now because you'll enjoy seeing him tomorrow. The chicken wing maestro himself. I'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining us, lads. Thanks for joining at home.
See you in a bit.